Hey everybody, welcome back to week 2 of this incredible YouTube event, how to launch and scale your perfect online business. Today, kicking us off for the day, we have Claire and Karen, and we are going to go through social media marketing hacks for business. How are you girls? Are you all okay?
Yay! Hi. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, feeling great. Thanks for the invite.
So why don't you tell us, just to start with, like, because obviously you've got a funny accent, Claire, and obviously you live somewhere even funnier. So why don't both of you tell us, like, roughly whereabout you are in the world?
So I'm originally from Yorkshire, but I live in Northern Ireland. I've lived here for 8 years.
Nice. And Karen, you're a little bit more exotic, aren't you? Is that right?
Oh yes, a lot more exotic. I'm French Norwegian, and I live in Paris, France.
Oh, nice. Okay, that puts my village to shame. Okay, so right, so we've got Karen. You're in Paris. Claire, you're in Northern Ireland. Talk to me. How are you two working together?
Do you want me to do this? So me and Karen, we were in the marketing space, seeing each other about. I recommended something to her, vice versa, and then one day we started collaborated. Karen was already, she'd already made ticket sales, but the reason Karen came to me was because she was just burnt out with everything that she was doing, alongside a full-time job as a vet. So she saw that I was having fun, showing up, and just
like, who's that? Who's that girl? I mean, she's like totally different, and I want to know what she does exactly. So yeah,
nice.
just a big shout to Claire, and
yeah. So we started working together. Well, I was coaching Karen, and just simplifying everything for her. And Karen made a first 10K in 20 days, and then she did 30K in 3 months, and she quit a job as a vet. And because I'm an extrovert, Karen's an introvert, so with the strategies that we was using, and Karen being an intro, me being an extra, it meant that we both brought different qualities to the strategies, and I just loved that she's an action taker, and she's so quirky. So we was like, we should partner up and work together. So yeah.
There's a real good balance. Claire, the extrovert, and me. I'm not a real introvert, but I need to be confident, and I need a little push sometimes.
Okay.
So we complement each other really well.
Nice. So you were originally a vet, Karen, is that right?
Yes.
What took you?
I still am. I'm just doing it like with nonprofits right now.
Oh, okay, cool. So what took you from healing cats and dogs to I want to be an online marketer?
I wanted to be able to work from home more, and it's always been in the back of my head. I'd had like a dropshipping business before. That's how I got into online business. So I really dived in with COVID and everything, and I really took a liking for it. So
nice. Yeah, it's a little bit different in it. Obviously, I know Claire's been very clever and cut off like her bottom half, so she's probably in her pajamas. But there's something special about sitting and being able to work in your pajamas and obviously having a good time making money. Claire, you had a business outside of online marketing first, didn't you? If my Facebook stalking serves me correctly.
I did, yes. So I had an offline business, and I had that for over 10 years. So I had, I ran a building. I had my own private clinic as an aesthetics therapist. So fat freezing, facelifts, all that kind of stuff. And then Karen, COVID hit. I already knew that I was already having doubts with the clinic, that I didn't know how I could keep up with the demand when I was like 60, and I couldn't imagine, being a therapist at like 60. So, and it's, when you have an offline business, it's sort of, you don't really own it. It more or less owns you. In a lot of time. So I've got twins, boy and a girl, and a solo parent. So having the business meant that I'd lost out on a lot of time with the kids. So when COVID hit, I was like, right, I ain't going back. I'm not opening that clinic. So I made that possible. And obviously, with the economy now and our offline businesses are suffering, I clearly made the right decision.
Yeah, most definitely. So obviously, both of your marketing journeys began because of COVID. Is that right? Yeah. So the world's going crazy. Everyone's locked down. Everyone's like scared to spend any money. Well, that was the perception. How did you crack it? Because we had our best years during COVID as well. Like, our income was just ridiculous. So how did you girls crack COVID and make a life for yourselves?
Well, I would say with COVID getting started in the online space, I actually struggled at first. I was putting a lot of hours into online marketing, and I did hit burnout. I did hit burnout as well. It was a lot of hours doing a lot of stuff, and I didn't really feel like I was getting a return in the amount of hours I was putting in.
Yeah, and me, it was just also a fact, finding the right kind of business model, because as I said, I had a dropshipping business before, but it took me some time to find the right business model, which is Facebook organic.
Okay, so Karen, obviously you said you had dropshipping at first. Why didn't you stick with dropshipping? What was the hardships about it, and why did it not work for you? Because a lot of people look at dropshipping because they get to be sort of faceless and they get to sort of try and sit there in the background, but a lot of people come away from it. What was your experience?
You have to rely on someone else. You're not, that person that you don't even know most of the time, because you can, you have to trust them, and people are buying from you, but people are coming back to you saying that, oh, okay, but it's not what I ordered. It's not the right size, it's not the right color, whatever, and also with COVID, because most of the factories that I was, buying from were in Asia. Everything closed. So, it made it more obvious that I needed to find something that I could do, so I don't have to rely on someone else.
Okay, so you felt like the control wasn't there in drop shipping.
Yes.
So
totally.
What did you turn to? What was next?
I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry, my bad. So decided drop shipping wasn't for you, and then where did you go? What was next?
I took a course, on affiliate marketing, and so I first got into Amazon and paid ads. So I burned quite a little bit of
burn through your money.
Yes. And it's only after that I heard about organic, and especially Facebook organic. So that's where it all began.
Okay, so you went through, obviously, drop shipping. Obviously, there wasn't enough control for you, and I find exactly the same. You're heavily reliant on a hell of a lot of people, when that's sort of the reason you leave a job, isn't it? Is because you don't have the control. And then we go and find the digital version, which is exactly the same, similar to drop shipping. and then affiliate marketing obviously becomes this shining beacon of light, and there's Claire holding the torch. Is that right?
Yes, pretty much. You're so right.
Perfect time to take a drink there, Claire. So, Claire, obviously you're really big on affiliate marketing, aren't you? And high ticket affiliate marketing, to be specific. Yeah. Okay, so you're freezing belly fat, you're fixing people's faces, making them feel a bit more confident. High ticket affiliate marketing, like, how did you get there?
I was introduced to it actually by a girl on Facebook, and so I started in network marketing, which is product based. I sold gas, electric, and broadband.
Utility warehouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did really well. I won a gorgeous holiday to Mexico and whatnot, but I found that I was putting a lot of hours in, and when I looked at it, it was under minimum wage if you didn't count the Mexico holiday. But Mexico holidays don't pay your bills. So so this lady, she introduced me to it, and she was doing well, and she was like, you literally just find out what people are struggling with, and you help them, and you get a commission, and that's it. And I was like, wow, is that it? I questioned it myself. I'm like, you're right, okay. But I saw she were making, sales, and she were making a lot more sales than me. So I was like, yeah, I'm up for that.
Nice. Okay. So obviously, I know both of you just spoke about potential burnout, or getting to burnout in the online space, and I was the same. Like, I remember getting to a point where I literally couldn't even make a decision about what I wanted for dinner that night without nearly crying. My head was that fried. It was horrendous. So in order to, obviously, for the people watching, like, in order to avoid burnout, I know this is a little bit early in the questions, but how would you give some tips just to avoid that burnout that everybody basically goes through?
Yeah, I've been through it, because before I, finding Claire and her strategies, and I was in high ticket already, and there was a lot of cold DMing and pitching involved, and it was too much for me. I mean, it was too many hours and too many, the strategy itself, the fact that you have to convince people of buying whatever you're selling, and you have to, convince them, and even, push them a little bit. It's not something that fits my personality at all. And that's why at some point, I was making sales, but I understood that it wasn't the right strategy for me.
Yeah, and I know the feeling. I was on, I think it was the Bogdan episode last week, and he was saying, like, what was the one thing you hated in your business? I was like, appointment setting and DMs and cold DMs. I hate it, because it's just like, especially because because you don't you get taught at the start, it's like, like, message, add 100 people and DM like all these people, and you're like, and it just becomes, especially when you're new to it, it just becomes a pitch off, doesn't it? It's like, oh, you're trying to pitch me, I'm trying to pitch you, and nobody really actually wants to listen to what the other person's got to say. It's like how is this even a strategy?
At some point I couldn't even open my messenger anymore, because I was like, okay, no.
It's a nightmare, isn't it? I feel you. I am 100% with you, Karen. I hate DMs. It just does my head in. Now, Claire sat there quietly in the background, just having a little cheeky grin and like looking quietly confident. So you don't really do that, do you, Claire? And that's not what you teach either. No. You don't want to be the sleazy salesman with the really bad suit and the crap hat, like sliding into someone's DMs. Like, you've got a different strategy. So talk to me a little bit about it.
Okay, so obviously, I had my own clinic, and I was responsible for the marketing for that. And one thing that I'd never done is jump into people's DMs and say, you know, do you want some fat freezing or do you want a facelift? You know.
Imagine that. Yeah, love, you're looking a bit chunky. Do you want to get a fat freeze? Yeah.
You know, it's just not the done thing. And same when you're jumping into somebody's inbox, and whether you're pitching off at the first and trying to dive into those pain points, or whether, you know, you've got a strategy where you might talk to them, you might have 2 or 3 conversations and then lead it to business. I found that it was the same thing as I wouldn't jump into people's inbox saying, do you want some fat freeze? So what we do is we're not a fan of lead gen. We use a strategy called demand generation, and it's sort of the same strategy that I would use for my business. So, for example, with fat freezing, you know, you won't take a picture of someone's head. So all bellies come in different shapes and sizes, and with each stomach, there's a story of, you know, that person has a story, whether they've had 4 kids and they've lost the elasticity in the skin, whether they've had, you know, they've got thyroid, a story. So what I would do is I would post the before and after picture, and I would, you know, I would tell the story, and those people, you know, might think, oh my God, that's me, or that looks like my stomach, and I'd love my stomach to look like that, do you know? So I realized that there was a very big similarity to how you can, you know, talk to the right people for your product without jumping in people's DMs, you know, and people coming to you and asking to work with you.
So you spoke a little bit
to chase them, actually.
Yeah.
You know, when you say like you have to add like 20, 30, 40 people a day, you're chasing people basically. And you're telling yourself, okay, but out of this quantity, well, maybe someone, you know, one person will say yes. But it's yeah,
a lot of conversations.
So no, but it works for some people, you know. But
yeah.
Case.
Yeah. So you've mentioned obviously like lead generation versus demand generation. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Is now the right time to pull up that slide?
Yeah.
Is it something we should be diving deep into?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Right then. So talk me through this.
Okay. So we'll talk about the lead generation first.
Yes.
And then we'll compare it to demand generation. Okay. So as we said, you know, lead generation, you're focusing on quantity, so you're focusing on numbers. So what happens is, you know, you're getting, you know, you've got your product, and you generally go to groups, add people from T1 countries, make sure that they're active, and add them.
You can start with 20 people, and then maybe in a few days you'll go to 25, and then 30. You know. So you just the algorithm get used to it.
Yeah. What you end up with is a fruit salad of people. Do you know, you've got some traders in there, you've got some crypto people in there, you've got people from that group that got in there but they have no idea how they got in there. So, you know, you have like say you're adding 30 people a day. You know, out of that 30, there might be just one person that's your ideal customer. Yeah. So if you're with demand generation, you're focusing on quality. Now, what we find a lot with our students is a lot of people don't actually know who their ideal customer is. They don't really know specifically how they help people beyond the surface level of helping people to make money online and quit the job, or a single parent. So, you know, it doesn't really move beyond that and dig deep into their product. So that's
a very surface level understanding of who, you know, their audience, their ideal avatar is.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so people are struggling. So with lead generation, they're going in. We've all done it as experienced marketers. We've all started there, haven't we? Like we've all done that hustle. Like, oh, add all these people or not? Like, and as you say, no offense to the people that I've added, like, and there's probably still some in there from that phase of my life, but you had a bit of crap, don't you? Like, in fairness, and there's no other nice way to describe it. Like people who aren't the right fit. Now, when you mentioned about like you're focusing on quality, and you spoke about the strategy of going into groups, adding people from the group. Now, in demand generation, do you still have? It may not be an outbound sales message as such, but do you still have an outbound friend connection strategy?
Yeah, you still need to build your list, you know, your friends list, because you need constant, you know, new people into your list. So those people can see what you're doing. I mean, what you're posting, what you're writing about, you know, your stories, your reels. So you would still need to add new people, but it's really, really different. Like, for example, what we teach, you know, students is to add like 5 people a day, maybe.
Okay. And how do they identify those 5 people?
Because they're really, they have a deep understanding of who, you know, their avatar is. So they know exactly who to add.
Okay.
Depending on what they're promoting, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense. And when you said it before, a lot of people don't understand on a deeper level, which I totally agree with, their client avatar. So how do you get people to understand who their perfect client avatar is?
We work with them. Obviously, each of our students, they would come to us with a different offer. So we have to. It's more of a personal thing. It's not a one size fits all. You know, that we are taught. It's like, oh, you know, go and add people that have a banner and clearly are an iTicket affiliate. It's not a one size fits all. So we would work with people individually on, right, let's have a look at your offer, dig deep into, right, you know, what is the one big thing that this helps someone to solve, and you know, the solution. So that's an hard question to ask, because it's not like we can go, oh, we do this and this and off you go. We wouldn't say, all right, you just go to this magic group where all your buyers are, because everyone's got a different offer.
Yeah, I get that, and I'm totally with you there. So the specifics you can't literally like lay out here, but the process of identifying that person, like, obviously, so what type of things would they look for? Like, obviously, so it's not. So let's take the offer out of the equation, although the offer is obviously one key point. Like you've just said, part of that process is what is that number one thing your offer helps with? Perfect. That's part of the process. What other little things do we help question-wise? Like what other questions do we need to look at to build Amy the avatar?
Okay. So do you want me to go, Karen?
Yeah, please.
I have to keep asking permission.
It's polite, I like it.
So obviously, when you're looking at that person, when you're looking at a profile, obviously you're making sure that they are in the right stage of the journey. So that would be kind of what group they're in or who they're connected with. Then you're going to look at, obviously, you know, tier 1 countries are still important. They want to be, you know, they want to be active people. And I always say this, like, if you are looking at someone, look at their content. Like, are there someone that you think you can get on with? Have they got, stuff on there that you think, oh yeah, I like this guy? Or are they an absolute
Go on, say it.
twat?
Don't hide. You wanted to say it. That's your personality, and I totally agree. Yes. Are they
Yeah.
a twat?
Yeah. You've got to think, like, you're not adding this person to go and dive straight into business. You want to just be a genuine person. If you met someone in the pub and you started talking at the bar, you want to feel like that when you're chatting in Messenger. You don't want to feel like a robot. So, those qualities are really important.
And that's one thing with lead generation. I think most people, they just tend to qualify their leads way too early, and getting to this business convo. So they burn through the leads, most of the leads.
Yeah, you 100%, because as you say, like, you see it, don't you? Like, they'll add you, hey, how's business going? Hey, I seen you in this group. How long have you been here? How's it been working for you? And they go straight into businesses. Like, I got one the other day. It was quite funny. It was a good paragraph from the guy who messaged me. Like, obviously, this is what he's being taught, so it's not his fault. And my big paragraph about what he's promoting, and I just put back, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Because he didn't even ask. I was like, well, let's try and get you back onto a normal conversation. And people just miss it, don't they? Like, within 3 messages, if one of those questions are, what's your business goals for the next 3 months, or what's your income goals for the next 3 months, you may as well kill that conversation.
Yeah. What we're saying about, the avatar is, like, most people, that they're not aware of who they should be, targeting. Because for example, I get loads of friends requests from beginners. So, I mean, what are they gonna sell me? See what I mean?
Yeah, they've not identified that you're already success. So your next stage should be from someone above you coming down and going, hey, let me get you from 30K in 3 months or 10K a month.
Because they're adding, like, so many people, to their friends list. I mean, they don't take the time, or they don't have the time to go through everyone's profile and check and make sure that this person is, at the right stage for them. But thing is, most programs, they tell you that you can do everything you need to do in 2 hours a day. So just the fact to find those people takes you 2 hours? No. So that's
especially if it's trying to add 100 people. So what we've got here on the screen then is basically, and do you know what? I know it's your branded, but your colours are wrong. So lead generation, you should have a little devil in this corner, a little horrible looking devil, like something from Halloween. It should be red. It should be like, and then you should have an angel on this side, obviously light sky blue, and obviously on the left hand side, demand generation. Because it's basically your right hand side is selling, and your left hand side, which is demand generation, is saving. Is that right?
Yeah. And it's funny you should say that, because obviously we didn't want to make lead generation sound like a horrible monster. And you've gone, you should have that in your picture. Like, when Karen made this, lead gen sounds really bad. And I'm like, but we've just got the truth on there.
Yeah, as you say, like, that's the thing. Obviously, like, you look at it, it involves pitching. You're trying to convince someone to buy. Like, when you walk into a shop, like, day to day, you already know what you're going for. You already know roughly what you want. That's why when people come to me in the shops and they're like, hey, it's like, how can I help you? I was like, oh, have you seen this special? I was like, listen, mate. I was like, I probably looked online. I found out what I wanted anyway, and I'm coming. I was like, just leave me alone. Like, stop trying to lead gen. When it's like, I know what I want. Like, the demand has been created through marketing strategies, attraction marketing, demand generation strategies. Like, lead generation, I might get slated for this, but lead generation's for bad marketers. It's
Oh,
people who can't market their business correctly, people who can't attract attention in the right way. As you say,
Yeah.
people who've got to hustle on DMs day in, day out, is trying to make up for the fact that they cannot attract attention to their product.
yeah, that's really the constant chase. I mean, constant hunt for leads. That makes the whole thing. I mean, really. I mean, I know I couldn't do it anymore. I'm consuming, and it's so overwhelming.
Yeah,
It
it's not doing that long term. It's not sustainable. And if you're in this business, to build a business long term, you are going to hit burnout, just like I did, and just like Karen did. And do you know what? It's not your fault at the beginning, because I think what programs do is they tend to be like, they want you to get in front of as many people as possible with their product. So that's why they teach you to do that. But it's just working, as you develop, it's working out, right, this strategy is not for me long term, and then changing those strategies. Because if you think about it, a lot of people that get involved in high ticket have full-time jobs. I know that our clients that we work with, they all work full-time. Some of them work longer than full-time, and they just could not keep up with the strategies. I was doing this through COVID, so I wasn't working full time. And if I hit burnout, what's that like for someone who is running, is trying to build a business around a 9 to 5?
I think one thing that you touched on quite nicely was obviously like they just want you in front of it, like the other coaches, like they just want you in front of as many people as possible, as fast as possible. Now, the reason for this, what I've identified so far, is those strategies will give you a spike. Like Karen said, she got sales. She hated it, but she got sales. And what happens when you get that sale? You feel great. If you get that sale in that 3-month period, you feel absolutely fantastic. You've got your money back. You've provided them a video testimonial because it has worked, which means they have their video testimonial. It goes on their funnel and they move on to their next sale. After that 3-month period, that is when you are going, oh, I can't keep doing this every day. I was like, there's got to be a better way. But by then, you're out of their program. You are back on your own. You've now burnt out. You know there's a strategy that works, but you already hate it. But they've already got that video testimonial, and they're using your face to market their next phase of
exactly.
life.
And you know what just doesn't feel right too is that sometimes I know that the sales that I've made, I knew. I admit that I knew that some people that I was selling to, they were not going to have the time to work on the strategy and to make sales themselves. I still sold them. So I reached a point where I couldn't do that anymore, because if it's not going to benefit you, I mean the person that you sell to, no,
it becomes inconsistent with your conscious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge thing. It's like, as you say, when you're trying to pitch these people and trying to sell them from lead generation, you're trying to look at the selling aspect rather than the saving aspect.
But
it becomes about the money.
That that's not going to work for them.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have people come to me because they already know that they understood that my strategy is got something for them, and they understand that it might work for them too, rather than
Okay, so let's dive into this. Let's dive into this strategy a little bit more. So obviously your primary platform is Facebook, correct? Yeah. Why Facebook over other platforms?
I've only ever worked on Facebook. I mean,
okay, fair enough, Claire. Completely honest. Okay, so you've only ever worked on Facebook. So why not TikTok or Instagram?
Well, speaking to other people, and because obviously I use these platforms far, but like things like TikTok, top people, they tend to get their accounts just shut down, like for no reason. So it's not even against that they're going against like rules or anything. It's just shut down. It's disappeared. So they're having to make a couple of TikTok accounts. And apparently, I think it's, don't quote me on the amount, but I think it's when you get to 20k followers, your account disappears, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, why would you not? they're getting all these followers, you're keeping people on that platform. So don't understand it. And then for like paid ads, obviously, I haven't done paid ads myself, and building those websites and funnels, but you still need marketing skills to do that. So people tend to, what I found in the industry is a lot of people have bought into that first, and they're like, oh, you just put ads out and people buy. But you need to have marketing skills to apply that. So it's actually with Facebook organic, you're learning those skills, and it's a super easy algorithm for newbies too.
I like that. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's like, it's a great platform to learn. It's a great platform to learn marketing hooks, like how to grab the attention, how to tell a story, how to take them through the journey. Like Facebook, especially because it's got everything, hasn't it? You can go live on Facebook like straight away if you wanted to. You don't have to wait for 1,000 followers on like TikTok. You get to learn copywriting in a strong sense where people actually read it, compared to Instagram where they just sort of look at the pictures and press a like. So that sort of learning the copywriting that holds the audience, that keeps them there. You're right, it does give you the best platform to learn the skills required to go and dominate other platforms.
And now you got like the short videos, they're really pushing
the reels,
reels and stories. I mean, it's you get everything in there.
Yeah,
you don't need to go, somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, people consumed especially the short form content in different ways, depending on what their primary platform is to watch it. So I know obviously like Facebook Reels is obviously they're really trying to obviously compete. Instagram are throwing views at you as much as they can, just to try and get obviously you off TikTok. The fact that we just repurpose everything they don't seem to take that into consideration. So Facebook marketing, obviously, what have you found over the last couple of years? How has Facebook marketing changed from when we first started to now?
I think they've made it a lot easier to run a business from Facebook. I remember, you had to be really careful of what you was putting on Facebook in regards to marketing. Obviously spammy stuff. But I think they've made it a lot more easier. Like, I market, my Facebook's for marketing. I've never been in prison, Facebook jail.
All right, that's random, Claire.
We need to
I've never been in prison. Yeah, me neither. Don't worry.
We're good. But yeah, and then obviously, the fact that they're pushing the video content, the short video content, the reels, the written content. You've got all types of content there, and yeah, they're pushing that video, and you can show up however you want basically on Facebook. So, but yeah, definitely the short videos are the biggie, and also like meetings. Like you've got the what do they call them? The Facebook group, not groups,
rooms.
like the rooms. That's it. Yeah, things like that. So it's very. I think it's a brilliant platform for affiliates. Absolutely.
So obviously, we've got all these new things that have come over on Facebook, obviously, in the last 6 to 8 months. Is there any strategies that used to work 2-3 years ago that are now dead?
Oh, just talked about them.
Damn. So yeah, the lead generation, the cold DMs, people are getting wise to them. It's not as successful as it used to be.
Yeah, it's a lot
everyone's
more,
doing it.
Also, sorry, a lead gen post in itself, obviously we all know what a lead gen post is, but I think that is dead, because it's basically what you're doing is you're offering something free, and people put hashtag me or whatever, raise a hand, and then what happens is you go and you qualify them for that free thing, but really what they're trying to do is trying to hopefully make a sale from that, but the person on the other side is just wanting the free thing. So there's a different agenda for what you're putting out. I think I've seen a couple of posts where people say, I've got 40 leads from one post, but those leads they're not hot leads. They just want the free thing. So what you're doing is you're spending, say you've got 40 leads and you go in and you're having a conversation with each person before you send them that free thing. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, that's not 2 hours. That's
it's 4 to 6.
Yeah.
And you are right, like just based on I call them bait posts. Basically, it's the exact same thing. So based on my bait post that I used to put out like 3-4 years ago, and like it generate me like conversations for 30 days, and you would like you'd go with those conversations. Whereas now it's a case of because like my primary platform is actually YouTube. Now it's just a case of who wants the free training? There's the link. I was like, they'll watch the video, they'll become more indoctrinated with myself, they'll begin to know, like, and trust me because I've spent time on that video, and obviously it's a free training effectively. And then I might pop back in a couple of days later. Hey, did you enjoy it? Is there anything else you need? Is there anything else you want to see? Is there another type of video? Did I not explain something that you need? And that's the type of something. But there you go. There's your free thing. Go get it. Go have it. Sometimes I don't even collect an email. It's like, just there it is. Like, you'll remember me. You'll come back when you need me.
Yeah. And at the same time, you have people, they think you have something for free to give them. So they would come back to you. So where is my thing?
Yeah.
Why don't you just send it?
Yeah, because you used to start the qualifying questions, didn't you? And they'd just be like, well, are you going to send it me or what? Oh, yeah, but first. I was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And you tend to just, you'll just, you burn people just by asking, because you turn very robot. I think like those kinds of strategies, they take you away, because you're so like, there's no like flow in the conversation. So, you burn through leads that I hate saying leads. You burn through people that might actually be a good fit, but because you've turned a bit robot, they've gone,
Yeah, they lost your personality, and they've probably seen that exact same conversation framework a dozen times. It's like when people offer you strategy calls, and like sometimes I'll still book on, and like 90% of people are still using the Sam Ovens script from whatever his course was years ago. So like they'll start that conversation, and I'll ask the next question for them because I know what's coming. It's like, come on, mate. I was like, can you have a conversation with me, or are you just following a script? Like, leave me. To be fair, it's quite funny when I ask the next question for them. So I'll answer what they've just asked. Then I'll ask the next question for them. Like, I was like, well, yeah, mate, I've got the script. It's somewhere in me drawer somewhere. Like, can we have a conversation now? And some people don't know how to come away from that script. Just try being yourself. It's 10 times easier.
They're so, immersed into it.
Oh,
100%. Now, so obviously, Karen, you mentioned, and you've mentioned it a couple of times, which I think is quite funny. It's like, that takes longer than 2 hours a day. That takes longer than 2 hours a day. And you're bang on, right? Because it's a big marketing ploy. Like,
I was promised it was 2 hours a day.
What do you do in your 2 hours? What is your daily strategies in 2 hours?
With demand generation, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. We don't like the devil over there, though. Demand generation. What is your daily strategy with demand generation?
So I will generally, waking up. I'm just, having my coffee, and building my Facebook audience. So I will have a look at my requests incoming. So I will accept the ones that are in my market, or people who are active, and people that I don't feel like they could be, a good conversation. I just don't accept them. I will then go to, suggested friends tab.
Okay.
Yeah. And request the people myself. So the people that I would, send requests to, they have to be in the market that I serve. I mean, obviously. And again, I need to, if I feel like, oh, okay, but this guy, he, there's something weird about them, I will just don't. Yeah, but it happens.
You get a vibe. You really do get a vibe. Like, you do. Like, are they weird? Like, Claire's laughing her head off, but like, she just like you were nice enough to call them weird. She'll call them a twat. Oh, I just love a twat. So
yeah, but,
you're right. Like, if the vibe's not there, no, and it happens. And as you say, it's your business. You get to accept who you want. You get to add who you want. Like,
to everyone. And same, especially when you're a friend requesting.
Yeah. Oh, you've got to be even more picky.
And the person accepts your request and you don't feel them, or there's something weird going on. What's the point?
Usually one of the weird things that goes on is they accept you and then they tag you in a big post. It's like, right, okay, block. Moving on. Like my block list, like that, just like don't tag me in a post straight away. It's like, at least that's permission or have a conversation. Pet hate. I could talk about this for absolute hours.
Or they put you in the group. They send you an invite to the group straight away.
Yeah.
Everyone.
At everyone. Yeah. I've only just figured out how to do that. Right. So we are coming up to the end of the episode. Like you, and obviously because I've only got 10 minutes left, and I need to make a cup of tea.
So I'll make it quick with the my daily strategy. So I will friend requests for like maybe 15-20 minutes. I'll check birthdays also, so it makes you know who you and then I'll just scroll my feed and engage. So whenever I engage, I will only leave supportive comments and comments that make sense. Just personalized comments, not great post or stuff like that. We
really read it. We actually read the post and leave a meaningful rather than just going, right, I need to leave something here to
15 minutes before you post, go.
So then I'll post piece of content. And the goal that I have with my my post or stories is to provide value for my audience. So it means solution, insights, entertainment. Then I would just help students, who are stuck in their process, and I review their content or their offers. And I will also, jump in Messenger like 2 or 3 times a day. So usually everything's done before 4 p.m. Nice. So I can come back onto Messenger or Facebook in the evening, but usually it takes like as an affiliate, purely as an affiliate work, it's top like maximum 3 hours. Real maximum 3 hours.
Nice, and that's because you've cut all the crap, haven't you? Like you've the whole like adding 1 million people, talking to 1 million conversations that aren't going to buy anything. People that are at the wrong stage in the journey. I think that's crucial. You're picking the people at the right stage in the journey where they're probably problem aware and they're now looking for the solution scenario. So looking at that stage instead of just adding every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah. And you completely eliminate the numbers game thing. Yeah,
because you say it's not numbers, it's about people, isn't it?
It's people.
It's about saving. So you have spoke a little bit and you've dropped it in so subtly, which I'm just gonna call it right out. you tell me you've got students. You tell me that, obviously, Karen, you've gone through Claire's coaching program. You've got yourself up to like 30K and obviously and beyond at this point. Tell me about the program. If people are listening going, I don't want to send any more cold DMs. I can't be bothered with it. I like the fact that Claire's sat there, chilled out, maybe in her pajamas, like just like cracking on and having a great time. Like, what is this program about? Because what I thought was interesting, I think I clocked on right, was your program isn't a program just to promote your program.
No.
It's got other things involved. So floor is open. You've got 3 minutes to sell everybody watching on why they should have a conversation with you about your program. I'll sit back and chill.
Go.
Okay. So yeah. So what we do is we help people to promote themselves rather than be a billboard for the products that they're selling, and we dig deep into what their offer is, how it helps people, and the the problems that it solves. We go deep into that, and then we find those people. We tell you exactly who they are. They might be in certain groups. We tell you which groups that they are in, and we teach people to be more human in Facebook and in Messenger. And I think people lose that that genuine, because they've done so much of the lead gen. So we just bring that back, and we show people how to be more genuine without leading things to business. We've just launching our own program. We just basically did coaching, but a lot of our students was like, we want to promote you. We want to tell people about you. So we've just put our coaching, our techniques into a mid-ticket and a high-ticket program. So we're just rolling those out at the moment.
Nice. Okay, that's exciting, and that is super, super exciting. So good luck with that. And if you are watching, guys, or when you are watching, the links are in the YouTube description. They will be the first 3 links in the YouTube description. If you want to go and join Claire and Karen's Facebook group, 100% go and hit that first link. And then Claire's profile and Karen's profile is below as well, guys. So 100%, look, they are lovely girls and they know what they are doing. So 100% go and have a proper conversation, a human conversation, instead of the robotic, hey, what's your business goals?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's it going so far?
And it's introvert and extrovert friendly.
Yeah, I love it.
No problem.
Fantastic. Girls, do you have any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
No, just thanks for having it. Really enjoyed it. Never been interviewed on YouTube before. It's always been on Facebook. So yeah, it's been an experience.
Thank you so much for having us, Brian.
My pleasure, ladies. Thank you so much. And I am going to hit the end of the broadcast.
And I love your accent. We're talking about accent.
Thank you.
I love yours.
Guys, if you are ready for the next episode, hang around. It's going to be in 4 minutes. And just go straight to my channel and click on the next one with Louis Xavier. And I will see you soon.
Bye.